Anyhow, spawning over in the bottom right-hand side of Lightshade as the blue Protoss for Team Alpha X, it is Astrea.
And up here on the top left-hand side of the map, we have the red Protoss player proudly representing Ting Esports. He is Neeb. Yeah, it's something you always got to keep an eye out for. I do think Lightshade specifically is a map that is not all really super easy to make those kind of counter rushes and stuff work, so you'll both be relieved also to just see. It's going to be a more normal looking game. Oh, wow. Astrea actually kills the scouting probe there of Neeb. A really, really nice pickoff since it just shuts down potential things that could be happening. So I'm sure that he'll feel really good about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice when you deny your opponent from knowing what your first two units out of the gateways are. And it allows Astrea so much space to... Well, now he can throw tech down in his main if he does so please without it possibly getting scouted. Astrea sees that he's against two Stalkers. So Astrea, like, he's way more in the know now. Going for two Adepts into two Sentries. Oh, and he gets the other probe as well. This is marvelous for Astrea. He's already found himself a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, Neeb's going to be definitely a little bit more in the dark now, but he's going to split up his Stalkers just to see, okay, I know that you have two Adepts now, because my probe obviously saw that with its life. So I'm just going to spread out my Stalkers a little bit, keep an eye out for where the Adepts could be coming in from. He's going to see the Adept Shades, needs to get up that wall, and I like what he's doing also. He's actually chasing straight after the Adepts instead of just sticking around with the Stalkers. It's a little bit of a 50-50 thing, because they just finished the Shade and were like, all right, I don't think your Stalkers are still there. Then, yeah, you're kind of out of position, but either way, it's a nice little move.
I'm a little bit scared for Astrea in respect to he's getting 4 sentries.
This is an Astrea special.
Oh, it is?
This is, all right, so Astrea loves doing this. I remember I talked to him about this, and I'm like, dude, don't you just die to anything? Like, if they just put on 4 Stalker pressure or whatever, they just move across the map, don't you just have no units that actually do damage? And he's like, no, I've actually really mapped this out, and I can defend like everything with the shield battery if I need it, and the 4 sentries, and I just have insane amounts of information on my opponent. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what, Astrea, you're a master of build orders, but this is what he does. Astrea comes up with tiny little tweaks to the standard and kind of finds his own way.
Yeah, only taking 2 probes worth of damage, definitely not bad. Both going for blink tech afterwards, so not too much deviation by either one of them. The nice thing for Astrea is he's got permanent scouting now with that amount of hallucinations that he has available, which is definitely nice for him.
Yeah, absolutely. There really should not be anything that should be catching Astrea too off guard, unless Neeb had a proxy, but we both actually see there's not even a proxy pylon on the map anymore for Neeb because he decided not to proxy and he lost all of his early probes. So Astrea gonna try and use his extra information and say, okay, well, I feel like I can probably take a 3rd base nice and early on. Might end up losing one of his Adepts against the Oracle, but also just now knows, okay, Oracle's headed down to the bottom left.
They're both so even at this point. Like, in fact, does Astrea have a Forge? No, he doesn't. Which, that might... Oh, wow, a 3rd Nexus already?
Yeah.
Before, like, a Forge or anything. So, Astrea definitely doing things a little bit odd here, but I don't mind it at all. It's not like a massive, crazy risk or anything. He knows he's got a decent army to start things off, because the sentries, while they are just permanent hallucinations, they're also Guardian Shield, which is very good in these little fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see another Hallucinating Phoenix coming out over here for Neeb. And his Hallucinating Phoenix actually taking a bit of damage here. If that Stalkers and the Sentries, yeah, they managed to take it out in the natural. So the 3rd base technically does not get scouted. So Neeb doesn't quite know about it, but he's already taken his own 3rd. I think he might just be assuming it at this point, based on probably having played against Astrea before, and also just seeing how his army composition was.
It's fun seeing how mirrored these players are. Like, yeah, they're doing pretty much the same thing, just in different orders and slightly different ways. Like the probe count, it's been within 1 of each other pretty much throughout this game. They've both got the blink, obviously, getting the +1. One got the 3rd slightly earlier than the other, and the trade-off was the +1 slightly later. I'm intrigued to see how they duke it out, because they had one of those legendary PvPs from a little bit of time ago.
Yeah, I feel like part of it is like they were probably talking to each other in the lobby. It's like, hey guys, like I think the viewers are probably just feeling like they didn't get to watch enough Starcraft. Did you just like, 8-minute no rush agreement? Yeah, okay, sounds good. And we're just getting like the straight up macro PvP, which is quite a treat because that is a callback to that 6 series that they had last time.
Yeah, it definitely is. Astrea's powering up though, like he's got 5 gateways on the way very soon to complete, whereas Neeb, he actually went for a lot of extra gases, and like he's going now for the Robo Bay as well. Double Robo, so I think it's pretty obvious what he's going in for. It's going to be like double Robo, disruptive production, lots of Blink Stalkers, and Astrea, he might play them way more chaotic, in your face. I'm going to have so many gateway units absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, and just based on the timings of everything, I do actually feel like Astrea might be thinking about moving out soon because the War Prism's about to pop out. Charge is finishing up. He's moving across the map. Yeah, I think this is the perfect time for Astrea to hit. If he doesn't make something happen over here, like you said, Ben, there's going to be double Disruptor production pretty soon. +2 weapons will be finishing later on as well. That is a massive upgrade for PvP. Your damage point breaks are just all over the place with Stalkers and Immortals and Zealots. So very, very important that Astrea is able to make something happen here.
Yeah, Astrea's got himself in a nice position here between the bases, which is always annoying. Has to be careful. Oh, a bit forward movement there by Neeb, but gets some nice snipes on some decent units. And Astrea, yeah, he's making life difficult for Neeb already. We do see, oh, is that just one pylon powering those robos?
Uh-oh.
It might just be, and Neeb, oh my goodness, both his disruptors are halted in production here. This is a nightmare for him.
Yeah, he still has quite a few Stalkers over here with some good Blink Stalker mech. Remember, he also gets the shield battery overcharges and just the shield batteries in general. But he is starting to feel like he's getting overwhelmed by just the raw numbers. Is the shield battery going to be enough? Is his Blink Stalker micro going to be enough over here? At the same time, in the main base, though, Neeb has a bunch of charge lots running on in, doing all sorts of damage. 7 workers have already gone down. He's losing the cannon in the main, and the Zealots are still alive. It seems like even although Neeb is pushing back the Stalker army, he's going to have to tap out. Astrea takes the first game.
Wow. Has been. Anyhow, speaking of the man, spawning over in the top left, playing for Ting, it is Neeb.
And down in the bottom right-hand side of the map from Team Alpha X Esports, it is Max Astrea Angel.
Yeah, he seems like an honest fellow, honestly. He's very nice. By the way, Astrea's already doing something really weird here, which is it's not a double gateway at the top of the ramp. It is a single gateway and a cyber core. Like Neeb, if you scout this, I am not entirely sure what the correct response is, but there is a reason why nearly every Protoss opens up 2 gate in this matchup.
Yeah, if I recall, it's going to be double Stalker and then just add on 2 more Stalkers if Neeb wants to try and punish this. The thing that makes it so scary is that basically your opponent, like, double gateway production versus single gateway production. And unless you have like an insanely quick shield battery or something on the low ground, you really don't have a lot to deal with 4 Stalkers at your front door. Like, this is, like you said, Ben, after lots and lots of trial period from Protoss players trying to make single gateway openings work, kind of discovered like, okay, I just actually don't have the firepower for this. That being said, I have a bit of faith that Astrea is not the kind of player who will just do this kind of thing without knowing what the usual counter is. Usually he crafts these openings, he crafts these builds, and I'm curious to see how he tries to make it work.
Yeah, like right now, it's going to be 2 Stalkers versus 2 Stalkers. Astrea has the high ground, so, he technically should win this fight. Oh, doesn't chase for the extra hit. He's also going for his Oracle here, which I like it. It will mean that he gets a bit of scouting information. His tech choice was obviously quite a bit faster, and he's safe for now. Neeb opting for double sentry afterwards. I'm not exactly sure what the correct response to what Astrea is doing, but sentries slow down the game a lot. They do allow you a lot of scouting, but definitely plays into what Astrea is doing a little bit, I feel.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. It does seem like he was definitely going to be in a kind of awkward spot in that regard in terms of reacting to Astrea. Because remember, if you're not getting the second gateway, you're not necessarily investing as much into those, first of all, super early gateway units. You get up the faster Stargate, so your Oracle can hit a little faster. You can make a second Oracle faster. All of these things are what Astrea is going to be trying to have played off of that greed. And you already even see, well, Shield Battery's already finished up with the natural, so I guess Neeb's okay with that part. And just ends up backing out.
Shield batteries are pretty good, Ravi. They're pretty good indeed. So what are they both going into? Neeb's going into the blink again with the forge, gets the full scout off, so he sees when and where his opponent's blink is in comparison to him. And probe counts are fairly similar. Like, did it look risky doing this 1 gate expand? Actually, Astrea made it look super duper straightforward and simple. He does have 2 oracles on the map, which, you know, if they sync up or they get to the main base where there isn't a shield battery, it could be rough times for Neeb.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say is Neeb saw there was a second Oracle, and I think that's so important because that also means you have to also have units positioned at your natural. The shield battery will not heal through 2 Oracles target firing down workers. So I think that actually allowed Neeb to also react a little bit and be like, okay, I need to warp in a couple extra stalkers over here. I need to split them up. I can't just rely on the shield battery.
It's really refreshing to see, by the way, Astrea kind of opting for these different openings in PvP. It just shows a level of confidence and just prep, and what really marks the very, very strong players when they are feeling the groove at that moment in time is the fact that StarCraft feels so natural to them that they feel that they can do anything like this. And he's still playing by all the rules. He's just, adding his little own tweak on things.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess we got to see some early deviations from usual PvP today, but they were more in the max spec style of things than this kind of more refined later game thinking style of Astrea.
So Blink is finishing up for both of them, and that means the Oracles obviously have to be way more careful, right? Yeah. I guess one big thing that Neeb has to pay attention to right now is, like, how many gases does Astrea have? Because if he does the same thing as he did last game, where he does, like, a massive timing, which he could do, but he isn't getting charged this time, so it's less likely. Maybe it is just going to fall. Oh, okay, he's getting charged again, so it could be the same thing again from him.
Yeah, it definitely could. I also wonder a little bit of like how much of the movement and army move out and stuff from Astrea was also him. Remember having the 4 sentries, seeing fully everything that Neeb was doing and kind of saying like, okay, this is my time to attack because you're clearly not doing the same thing as me. But well, as I say all that, we actually have no charge coming out still for Neeb, and he's also going to be up against a Dark Shrine being added on for Astrea. Nice little Blink Stalker micro from Astrea as well as he pokes on forward. Both these players softening up each other's armies, but at the end of the day, 2 sentries going down for Astrea earlier on, and just a single Stalker for Neeb. So it's been a pretty even game, even in like the trades not really happening a whole lot.
Look how fast Astrea is expanding, though. Like, he just took all of his gases, but before he did that, he started on his 4th base. He's getting the Dark Shrine, which you might be like, oh, DT's nice. I think they're primarily going to be for Archons, actually, like cheaper on the gas in terms of getting those Archons out compared to High Templars. But honestly, like, Astrea's style, it is very fun to watch. Like, he does play PvP very unusually.
I will also add on and say, like, so the reason why DTs are usually not great, like, against in PvP, like at the later stages, even for run bys and stuff, the place where they can suffer is when you're up against a lot of charge lots. They just don't trade very well once detected. If you're actually up against a lot of stalkers and you're doing like DT run bys and stuff, DTs can actually trade out pretty decently. Like, they can handle their own. We're going to see DT Blink being added on over here. Astrea, I think, is thinking about the army composition of Neeb and saying, well, yeah, I think this is actually a great place for DTs to be. And like you said, even if they don't work out for that, I can get up Archons, but Astrea really needs that big warp in of stalkers he just made.
Oh, is that a premature battery charge as well? I mean, like, Neeb's obviously committed, but I feel that Neeb wanted to pop that. Like, that was probably his goal here. And then he's obviously going to keep up the pressure. And this concave from Neeb, like, it's going to be tough for Astrea fighting from here. And those DTs, they are in the base, but kind of wobbling around that cannon. Will eventually get it, though. Neeb has to focus so much on this fight.
Oh man, did he get the observer and the revelation? I think he got the observer with the revelation and then the target fire. So now the DTs are pushing this army back on the other side of the map. That those 2 DTs do kill a photon cannon. So he is able to shut down mining at that 3rd base. Suddenly this went from, wow, Neeb is in a really good spot with a really scary army to, well, Neeb losing a lot of mining and he had to retreat all the way back home. So Astrea gets away with a 4th. Not bad.
Definitely not bad. Astrea's got a couple more gateways as well. He's finishing up his own +2 now. I guess the one saving grace for Neeb is that he didn't take too much damage from those DTs, like only a few probes died, and also the main thing, he's got disruptor tech on the way.
Yeah. I think for Neeb, he's really going to want to focus on just being able to get up that 4th base, and like you said, utilizing that disruptor tech, because I feel like it's not quite TVT levels of economy is not necessarily as important as a lot of the not mirror matchup in TVT, like you can be a little bit behind economically and it's okay. I kind of feel like that's also true in PvP because your army composition just matters so much. Being able to take a really good fight can make or break the difference in PvP.
These are such stalker heavy armies, and when you have disruptors in play, like obviously they can deal a lot of damage, but they really force your opponent to not be dealing damage as well when you're having to blink away and stuff. And the fact that one person has them, the other person doesn't, like we do see Astrea is teching up for them. Right now, like Astrea's just kind of hoping that he doesn't get attacked anytime soon. And Neeb, it looks like he's waiting for the 3rd and 4th one to come along, but then he's probably going to start the assault.
Yeah. I'd actually love to see Neeb also think about adding on his own Dark Shrine, just because yes, again, the double disruptor play is really important, but remember that another big part of this is that DTs distract, and disruptors are the ultimate punisher of distracting someone. So I feel like he can actually really utilize something like that, but well, for now, he's just going to be using a couple of these disruptor shots to zone out Astrea's army from moving any further forward. These bases are actually deceptively close to each other.
Oh, these 4 DTs, though, they were like marching into that base. It's like, aha, I got you right. But Neeb is more than prepared over there. He's got cannons, an observer, double detection, and a lot of stalkers.
I mean, he's got an army supply lead. He can afford to split up his army right now. Even snipes off an Immortal over there. Oh boy, big blink forward over there from Astrea. He is going to get heavily punished. A couple final disruptor shots go off and don't find a whole lot. But man, Astrea was already down a bit in supply. He's a good bit further now.
He's going into a lot of zealots with this. So I wonder if he's going to look for like wraparounds or he's going to focus on the run-bys, because Neeb's army is stronger in a head-on fight.
Oh man, Neeb, you are so on point. Okay, no, he's not finding the zealots. He's just actually finding this base, which is still a really good pickoff. And I love that he also knocks down these rocks, opens up a retreat path if he decides to attack in over here again later. But the zealots, they didn't go all the way to the side of the map, Ben. They're actually just sitting up in the top right with DTs there. And disruptors trying to come out over here from Astrea. Astrea might have an opportunity to go for either a run-by or a big flank alongside this big stasis trap.
Astrea's like, you know what? I'm pretty good at PvT. Let's play this like a PvT. He's got so many zealots and blink Templars on the top of the map here that, you know, they're kind of destined to deal damage. Oh. So what's going to happen here? That disruptor shot. Okay, it doesn't actually get much done, but Neeb just dropped 20 supply there with those stranded stalkers. It's like, I think he forgot for a moment. Oh, saddest disruptor. Oh my goodness, how the hell did it get away?
Oh my god, no. Oh my god, and he killed 3 disruptors. That's amazing. Astrea also feels like this is the moment to run in with the Zealots and DTs. I think he really, if he had been paying attention, I think he could have run in with these a little bit earlier. These blink DTs also could have really done a lot of damage, but now the entire army is retreating on back. Astrea is going to be able to push this back and actually punish a lot of those DTs on the retreat.
Yeah, Astrea's like, you know what, I'm going to warp in 6 more of those bad boys, because they are a good unit to have, which is absolutely true, but man, this game, it's chaotic, man. It's super chaotic. The resources lost are, but Astrea's been trading worse. He did have a better economy earlier on, and look how Neeb's expanding, by the way. He's like, in fact, they're both, these new expansions that they're taking, they are literally, I swear they could almost see each other.
Yeah, it's actually just one screen away when we're zoomed out like this, as our wonderful observer has done. The revelations, I feel like, Ben, are actually so insanely massive. This is like the underrated thing about PvP Blinkstalker Disruptor versus Blinkstalker Disruptor. It's actually an information game a lot of the time. It's a game about knowing your opponent's position. Being able to throw out those disruptor shots and everything is so dependent on that. But here we go. This is what I was talking about. Look at these Blink DPs able to jump in on top of those Stalkers and do a lot of damage, but a nice blink back there from Neeb and the Disruptors able to push this back. Really well done in the defense.
I really like the way Neeb's handling this though. Like the resources lost tab really shows he's just trading better and better. He's also getting ready for that tech switch to Stargate and stuff. Oh, this is nice though by Astrea. Oh, the disruptor shots are really big though. Neeb climbing ahead in supply. Disruptor shots though. Oh my goodness, he just lost all his disruptors there.
Yeah, he only has 2 left. It's 2 disruptors to 9. But the upside over here for Neeb is that he's got 36 Stalkers to like 19. He's basically doubling the Stalker count right now of Astrea, and he's got a lot of his own DTs now heading along that right-hand side, ready to shut down most likely that Nexus that just came up.
And he's got his own DTs on the map as well now, while warping in 4 Stargates and a fleet beacon. Neeb is going ultra PvP late game here. Astrea seems to be kind of stuck in the like PvT stage of the game, like doing the massive run buys and stuff. We'll see how this works out for Astrea. He's really going ham. Oh, Neeb's first DT is getting a base. That is nice for him.
That's definitely nice for him. I felt like Astrea was actually in a really potentially good spot there to try and punish that base from Neeb, but ends up getting forced back. Remember that I feel like Astrea has just so many more disruptors. He has the potential to actually bully Neeb a little bit more with those disruptor shots, but he needs to find the opportunity. He's getting zoned out from actually engaging over here, but Neeb is now out of disruptor shots. We see a big aggressive blink forward over here from Astrea, even takes out one of the disruptors and forces Neeb back. Man, these two players, they actually can't move away from this location because as soon as you do, one of your bases die.
I'm really impressed by Neeb, honestly. Like, even though he's had less disruptors in quite a few of these fights, he's doing so much more with them. And he's just kind of bullying Astrea away from these locations. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that could just actually be it over here. Astrea is also engaging with the Stalkers before the other disruptors on the right even arrive. I think that this just might be one of the big tap-out moments here. Neeb cleans up the rest of this. There are some disruptor shots coming out, but I think that Neeb has already just done so much damage over here. And now with all the disruptor shots being fired, guess what? Those disruptors are laid barren and to waste. The probes going down. There's still DTs alive, denying any of these bases. This is like all-in mode over here from Astrea if he really wants to carry this out.
And look at this resources lost tab. It is 29k resources lost pretty much against 14k. Neeb has been twice as efficient this game as Astrea, and Astrea in these last few moments just truly fell apart.
Oh, that's so brutal. PvP, man. It is just one of those matchups where you can feel like you're keeping pace for a really long time, and then just an instant you can lose everything. Oh, that's a rough loss there, right there.
These two definitely, like, you can't deny, have really cool PvPs though. Mm-hmm. And Neeb hasn't even got into the air units yet either. Like he's got 5 Stargates ready to use.
Yeah, he's getting one big air unit, which is likely going to be able to help him seal the deal if he doesn't already. But I like this actually. You know what? All things considered, as bad of a spot as this is for Astrea, as unlikely as he is to win this game now, I actually think this is probably the best move he could do, which is start base trading. But oh god, Neeb just warped in like 12 defensive DTs, and that is just a hard shutdown on turning this into a base trade.
Yeah, I mean, look how many defensive DTs he has. He's warping in so many cannons here, there, and everywhere. Like, you say you'd like this from Astrea, and I agree. Like, you know, any choice is the wrong choice, basically. But, you know, can he really fight? Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is what we wanted to see, boys.
Oh, man. There it is. GG, Neeb ties up the series 1-1. What a... be able to go undefeated. And here we are in the bottom left-hand side of the map, the red Protoss player representing Ting Esports. He is Neeb.
And spawning over in the northeast side, as our blue Protoss, it is Astrea. Neeb going for the most strange wall here, by the way, at the top of his ramp, you know? Like...
You know what's cool about... You know what's weird, and I don't know if it's good. I'm not going to use the word good, Ben. You know what's cool about this wall, though? Is that it's like a double wall. You can, if you miss one of the shield batteries or something that throw down against the depths or something, you have a second area you can throw it down.
But because it's that kind of gap, if you try and put the shield battery behind that, like you need to do it with a 3x3 building as opposed to a 2x2 one, because it won't block against the depths and stuff. Also, let's say you get your recall and Archon back home or whatever, you can't get it out of this base.
Yeah, no, that is the thing that I was like, I'm not going to call it good, Ben, because if you have to deal with that, or like, let's say you're dealing with a Stargate, which Astrea is going to go for, might even be a little bit of a response to this wall, to be entirely honest. Stalkers have to go through 2 choke points to get between the bases to defend. That is actually just a nightmare. That's really not going to be fun. You know what? If Astrea, we haven't seen a lot of Phoenix play lately, but if Astrea even opened up with like 5 Phoenix or something, I wouldn't hate it against this kind of wall.
I'm always interested in Protoss openings and stuff. Like Neeb here, he's the one that's actually going for like, well, he's got the 2 adepts on the map, obviously. He's going for his 3rd sentry, going up to a stalker as well. And scouting is so key and pivotal in this matchup. These 2 adepts, oh, he actually finishes it, but he gets the probe and then he recalls out. Good trade. I mean, killing the probe and then forcing the cancel, that's like 25 minerals lost plus the 50. I suppose it's not bad, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely not too bad, since you can remember you can always use those adepts again to go for more harassment later on, especially if you feel like, oh, my opponent's moving out, or I just want to get some scouting information on their army. So I think it's valuable to have those adepts alive. Well, the first Oracle is, I believe, gets scouted out by that hallucinating Phoenix, so he was going to have a lot of his units positioned in his main base. This is the weird moment, though, right? Is that we just saw more units warped in the main, and you have to spread out to your natural, because your units sure as hell are not going to get to you between your main and natural very quickly.
No, but Neeb has eked out quite a bit of a probe lead here, and he is getting +1 quite a bit faster than Astrea. Astrea's been not a... oh, wow, that Oracle, oh my god, is he going to lose it? It's very close, Whoa. Just gets away. Was it worth the 2 probes? I mean, Astrea feels it was, maybe. Whew.
Yeah, I actually don't even know when he transferred. I didn't even see that he transferred all the sentries from the main base over to the natural, but yeah, that's definitely going to be able to do it. That's barely just enough to actually push all of that back. It was just the single Oracle, no second Oracle like one of the previous games for coming out over here for Astrea. And he's going to be dealing with his own adept harassment now in his own main base now, because it makes its way past 2 probes that were ready to throw down the shield battery wall.
Okay, that was such a big deal that one of the adepts died as quickly as it did. And 5 probes do fall, though. This is very good for Neeb. Is there a forge on the way at all for Astrea? No, so he's been continually opting for getting the forge a lot later, actually after the 3rd Nexus each game, whereas Neeb's been playing a lot more standard, getting the forge, then choosing to go for the 3rd. And we're seeing both these players kind of stick with what they know, sticking with what they do, and we'll see how they clash this game.
Yeah, I like that Astrea is able to find one of the proxy pylons over here for Neeb, is able to take that out. That reduces some of the adept harassment a bit later on, potentially, especially since that last adept harassment did not exactly go swimmingly for Astrea. But yeah, 3rd base is coming on out for both players, and we got Blink finishing up as well, so we're getting into that good old mid game, Ben, where things really do start to heat up, I would say.
Yeah, Neeb's the one that's going for charge this game, though. And he didn't go for like the 4th and 5th, 6th gas super duper fast. He's actually sticking on the 3 gases here. So it might be a little switcheroo of who's doing what. Okay. Astrea is starting up his charge as well. Now getting his forge, but Neeb is already underway with his +2. So Neeb definitely has an advantage here when it comes to upgrades. Wow. Okay, what do you think that stasis trap is there for? Just to stop a blink in the main, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it would be for a Blink Stalker move into the main, because that's usually not where like a Warp Prism or something would go to warp in. And it's not like the Adepts, if they manage to shade in past that wall, like that's actually not in the way where the Adepts would walk to get to the main. So I guess Astrea is thinking, well, I'm about to go for a Blink Stalker move into the main. So what if he does? And I like it.
I definitely think that's one of those. Oh, he didn't actually go to finish off the Stalker, but he does get the Oracle, which I think that was a good choice by Neeb. Nice decision making there. But it is always funny, right? When you think about, oh, what am I potentially weak against? Oh, or what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to Blink Stalker here. That'll be really good, right? And then it's like, okay, I got to make sure that doesn't happen to me too. So I love how StarCraft players think, but I am worried for Astrea here. And he is getting up quite a lot of static defense, which is good for him. But Neeb's going to have such a power spike here against him. Significant upgrade advantage and a decent army.
Warp Prism is going to add in a lot over here for Neeb, as he's going to have those fast reinforcements coming on forward. A big round of Zealots coming in alongside the ones that were working on the other side. Now, some Force Fields do lock out quite a few of the Zealots, but Astrea looks like he's just getting overwhelmed. No shield batteries or anything to help him. He's building a shield battery and a cannon at the natural, but it's going to be finishing up a little bit too late. The cannon goes down, the shield battery goes down, and Neeb is overwhelming his opponent. Astrea just getting zerged here by the raw number of units. Astrea is just unable to defend this space.
Neeb really flipped Astrea here. He really flipped the switch. He went for the Astrea build by the looks of it. And Astrea, again, just caught out here. Neeb really came alive in these last two maps and played a pretty damn flawless PvP. Look at that resources lost tab. 1,500 resources to 6K. Neeb takes the series 2-1.